Starting, all attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, welcome to the workshop on building career in ethical hacking. Our speaker Shashank is already here, and Shashank, it's your call.
Yes. Yeah. Hello, everyone. So today I'll just, I'll give you a brief like why you should actually get into ethical hacking, and I have I've prepared a slide for that. So I'll like step by step I go through it. So first I'll start with my introduction. Uh, I've been hacking from past seven to 8 years, like from 2013 onwards. And that time, like when I started hacking, there was no, career related thing in, security. So currently I am working as a security analyst at HackerOne. Apart from that, I work part-time for a company called Cobalt, which is another security company. There I'm the team lead as well as, the core pen tester. And still it's like in my free time, even though I moved out of bug bounty hunting, which I'll explain if you don't know what is bug bounty hunting and everything. But I still, sometimes when I'm free, I still hack stuffs. So apart from that, it's like if you see my work, I have been recognized by Google, Facebook, almost like 30 40 Fortune 500 companies. And my story, because I was one of the youngest ethical hacker in India, so my story was published in a book called Career Rules, written by journalist Sonia Datta Chaudhary. And so this was just all about me. But to make things, really interesting, I'll tell you like what are the things we are going to discuss. So, to make a career in ethical hacking and security, you should actually, it's my suggestion that you should go through the bug bounty programs. And first, I'll tell you what bug bounty program is. Shubhendra, is it like is it interactive? Like, can I interact with the students? I would really like if someone wants to talk in between.
Yeah, students can speak, unmute themselves, and can speak in between.
Yeah. So, how many of you are aware of like what a bug bounty program is? Any one of you have heard about it? Okay. No answers. No problem. So, basically, what happened is like way back in 2003, uh, the company which built Firefox, Mozilla, they started their bug bounty program for their browsers. So the entire concept was that like if you find a bug in Mozilla website or the browser, and it's like any hack if you can find into it, then instead of exploiting it, just report it to the company, and they'll pay you for that. No matter where you live, you don't have to be an employee of Mozilla to find a bug. You can just like sitting anywhere in the world, if you find a bug, you can just report it and then they'll pay you for that. So this is what bug bounty program is. So it's like through my entire talk, I'll actually take you around like how you can participate in bug bounty programs, how they work, and out of bug bounty program, how you can make a career in ethical hacking. So what we are not going to discuss is actually hacking, because this topic is just about building careers. It's more of a talk about how to why you should create why should you join try your career in ethical hacking. And it is not about actually hacking stuffs like that would be entirely a different stuff, which today I'm not going to teach you how to hack, but I'll give you resources where you can learn and then you can build your career out of it. Apart from that, since my expertise is only in web applications and mobile applications, we are not talking about Wi-Fi or hardware hacking. And then it's like whenever I take a seminar or something like that, there is always a curiosity about hacking Facebook, Insta, and Gmail. I'll explain this why we are not going to discuss it on the later stages. And social engineering is actually it's very similar, so we are not going to discuss about it. So as I already explained, it's like big companies like now if you see almost like there are tens of thousands of companies which will actually pay you for finding security issues in their website. And like if you see, it's like if you go to the Google, if you just search Google bug bounty program, you will see their page. They clearly mention that, for any domain which is under Google, and if you find a bug, the minimum reward is $500. So $500 is actually around like 30 to 35,000 INR, which is a good amount. So even for the the lowest bug, you get minimum 30 to 35,000, and the highest bounty, like critical bugs like remote code execution and everything, they can go up to like $20,000, which is like 14 to 15 lakhs. So uh, it's like there is a huge potential if you, as a as a college person, if you want to spend your time in finding bugs in big companies and getting paid for it. So uh, examples of bug bounty program will be Google, Facebook, Mozilla, Apple, and it's like it's like I'll just show you. So Google bug bounty program. So if you just go to this page, you will see the entire rules, how it's like what all things are in scope. So if you see, they will pay for any security issue you find in google.com, youtube.com, blogger.com, because they all belong to Google. And these are some rules which you should follow. And apart from that, they have the bounty table. So if you can see, it's like if you find a remote code execution, the bounty can be like $30,000, which is like 21 lakhs. And the minimum amount is $100, which is like 7,000 rupees. So and apart from that, every program, like most of the program, like Facebook also has a bug bounty program. So what they will do is, like, apart from giving you rewards, they actually mention your name in their website. So it's a big thing. It's like if you find a bug in Facebook and you report them, you not only get monetary rewards, you also get listed on their website. So if you see, in 2017, I actually managed to find a security issue in Facebook. So my name was also mentioned in 2017, and I think I was there in 2016 as well. Yeah, 2016. So these are the guys who actually found a valid security issue in Facebook and got rewarded by Facebook. So apart from, it's like apart from just monetary rewards, you also get something to showcase to companies about your experience. So if you manage to find a bug in such big company, any companies where you are applying would be, they will be like, yeah, they will understand that, yeah, this guy knows how to do hacking and everything. So basically, how bug bounty program works. So what I will say is, see, this entire talk is about ethical hacking. So there is a difference between hacking and ethical hacking. So ethical hacking, you have the word called ethical. So ethical means you don't do anything bad, or you don't exploit the bug actually. So if you have found a security bug, you are not exploiting it, you are reporting it to the company ethically. And the first thing would be, to check the VDP page. Basically, VDP means vulnerability disclosure program. So this is just a term. So if you see here, see, this is the VDP page. They call it VRP, vulnerability reward program. So these are the entire rules. So whenever you are participating in any program, to read the rules. So like some of the important rules will be recent accusation. So basically what happens is, Google actually, acquires companies. So you might have heard that, XYZ company got acquired by Google. Google bought the entire company. So this is one of the rule that, after 6 months of acquisition, if you find a bug in an acquisition website as well, you get paid for it. So not only Google domains, even their acquisitions are in scope. So these are interesting things. It's like when you read the policy page, they will that if you read the policy page, you will get a clear picture, like where to look for bugs. And they also mention, like, what are qualifying vulnerabilities. So these are the vulnerabilities which I'll tell you where to study from and how to learn the concepts. So according to them, like, these are the valid vulnerabilities. And then, one second. Yeah, so the first approach will be to find a program. Like if you want to hunt on Google, just read their policies. then you have to find a bug, and then they in general, it's like if you see Google's program, you can actually see they have a report. They actually have a page called glo.gl/bulnz. So if you open this, this is the reporting platform for them. So you can report a security issue. Once you have found it, you can actually report it. And
No.
and then once your bug is validated, they will decide the reward, and then they will send you the rewards. Now let's actually talk about how to get started into it. Before it's like getting started, I'll tell you it's like why you should get into security and everything. It's in the last of my slides, but then you'll be surprised to know that the average like the salary of security engineers is considered as 16 times the median salary of an average average IT person. So anyone in IT, you can actually make mostly, like it's said, that you can make 16 times more money if you choose security as a profession. Apart from that, not only as per salary, if you see in bug bounties, like while I was in college, like it's like I passed out last year of my last year from VIT University, and while I was in college, I actually in 4 years I made almost like 1 crore out of bug bounty programs. Like it's a solid figure. I made like almost 1 crore out of bug bounty programs. So imagine like starting a career into something which pays so much money, that too you can do sitting in your college part-time and everything. So I'll start like basically basic technical things you should know. So obviously hacking is not an easy thing. Anyone who says that hacking is very easy, they're just fooling you. Honestly, hacking is not very easy. You have to be technically very sound, and you have to be really good at technical stuffs. So before hacking into like, suppose if you want to pursue a career in web application security testing, you should know that how a web application works. So to hack something, you should know how they are built. It's said like if you know how a thing is built, you can break it easily. So it's very necessary to have technical knowledge. The first thing I would suggest is I'll actually share my slides, which has all the links to for the students to check it out. So basically, the first thing is whenever a website is created, it runs on the HTTP protocol. Like it sends requests to the server, and the server responds back. So you should know that how this HTTP methods work, the post method, the get methods. If whenever you will have your subject called web technologies in your computer science department, they will actually teach you that how HTTP methods work and what type of HTTP methods are, and please have a special focus on that because it's very important. And there is a link you can learn about more about HTTP methods in the slides. The next thing I would suggest is the TCP/IP model. So it's very similar to, it's related to the hypertext transfer protocol. So you should know how the TCP/IP model works, the ports settings and everything. Apart from that, I have seen very common among students that they prefer to use Windows systems. My first suggestion would be, stop using Windows. Windows is not going to help you, even if forget hacking. Even if you want to get into development, Windows is not your thing. You should know Linux very well, because what happens is whenever there is a website, there's a most chance that it is hosted on a Linux server, not a Windows server. So you already use Windows in your day-to-day life, so you are aware how it works. But then you should also learn how Linux works. So it's like if you really want to learn Linux and how it works, what I would suggest is like for a time being, what you do is just remove entire Windows from your system and just install Linux. Because what happens is like people get very lazy in understanding how Linux works, and then they simply switch back to Windows again. But when you have your main operating system as a Linux, you will be forced to use it, and that's how you will learn. So I have added a few links of basics of operating system as Linux, and the command lines, because command line is very necessary. Learning the command, using the command line to access network, or perform commands and everything. It's very, very necessary. So this is something you should learn. Next is network concepts and everything. So how does a server work? So what I would suggest is, for students, AWS will give you like $150 of free credit when you sign up using your card. So I'll suggest links like Google how to start a server, because when you will be doing web development, you actually host it. So suppose there is a website, like suppose my college website is there, vit.ac.in. So it is hosted on a server. So how to use the server, how to host a website on a server, this is something you should know. And it honestly, it doesn't take much time. If you give a week of time, you will be very thorough with it, like how to host a web application on a server. This is something I would suggest that you all should do. Then one of the very common question I get is like, is knowledge of programming necessary? And mostly students ask me that what programming language is necessary. So this is very different, where this is a bit different with programming. So when you are a programmer, actually you are expert in a particular language, but the same case is not required for hacking. What I will suggest is like you should know the basics of programming, like how to code. You should know how to code. And why I'm saying that is because you will need almost every programming language, the concepts of every programming language, each and every programming language, to actually hack stuffs. The reason behind that is, suppose you are given a target, my website, like shashank.com. So shashank.com uses applications like it has a backend in Node.js. And then there is another guy called, it's like, suppose it's my college website, like vit.ac.in. So VIT's website is actually written in, in ASPX. So, and it is using Microsoft IIS server. Then there can be application which is actually developed in, PHP. So you cannot actually, if you are just limited to one programming language, you are never going to, it's like you will not have an edge when it comes to websites written in another programming language, or using different servers like Windows server, or maybe Linux, but some different version of Linux servers. So first I would suggest it's the basic start would be learn HTML, JavaScript, or then PHP, and then Node.js, because if you see, PHP is getting very absolute. Like nobody is using PHP these days. Everyone is working on the Node.js framework. So either it can be React or Angular or the Express framework, something like that. Apart from that, it's not only necessary to learn the programming language. You should also know how websites interact with a database. So it can be MySQL or MongoDB, whatever you prefer. But learn these programming languages, and the best way of learning is just create a small website in your free time. It's like when you learn, just it's like there are a lot of websites where you can learn programming language, but it would never be helpful unless you write something of your own. So whenever you get free time, actually do write stuff. Like it's like just create a small website, like a website which has an admin panel and a user panel, and the user can post and admin can actually delete the stuff. So when you do these things in your free time, it's like as an additional project, like for your own benefits, and when you actually write codes to create something which makes sense, then you'll get a brief idea like how a website works. So what I would suggest is, like, before jumping into hacking, what you do is like create a small website, maybe just for your college, just for your friends. And then when you are done creating it, there should be you should use everything like database, front end, back end, everything. And then host it on a server. And then, it's like register a domain for it. So when you do all these things, you get an entire picture that, how a website is basically, how a small website is created, and, everything is done. So this is, very it's very, very important. You cannot skip this part. Knowing programming language is very necessary. And once you have the basics of any programming language, basically there is no difference between all the most of the programming languages. Like if it is Java or something like that, they are just different in their syntaxes. The way it is written is it's different. The symbols are different. Apart from that, concept always remains the same. So you should learn the basics first. There are I have given very simple resources for HTML, JS, and PHP W3 schools. I think everyone might have heard about it. It's very it's the best website to start with. And then I have added some books which was something I read during my college time to prepare myself for Node.js, because when I started hacking, mostly I knew PHP like way back in 2013. I knew PHP, so I could hack all websites in PHP. But whenever I have got targets like Node.js one, I used to I had no idea how to test it. So during my college time, I upgraded my knowledge and learned Node.js and MongoDB. And I did the same thing. I just created a small website with MongoDB and Node.js. And then I got to know that how it works, and now I can do the security testing of Node.js applications as well. Apart from that, it's apart from core languages, it is much essential that you should know some scripting languages like Python, Perl, or the latest one is called Go, Rust, something like that. Why is it necessary? Is because while you are hacking, there will be many instances where you will know that where you will realize that you need to automate something, and it's not wise to automate something in C because it takes a lot of time to write. So whenever you are working for a company and you want to show the proof that this is a bug but which requires some automation, the fastest way to write is using Python. And since many people prefer Go these days, but I learned Python, so I don't want to move into Go right now. But you feel free to choose anything. You should know how to write scripting languages and write simple applications in it to learn it. While I was in my college, what I used to do is we used to have Wi-Fi passwords, and we used to share our Wi-Fi passwords. So I wrote a simple Python script which would it's whenever I open my system, the Python script would run and it would log me into my college Wi-Fi using one of my friend's credentials. So just do something in day-to-day life, so you can actually learn how to code. Okay, now this is the important part. Once you are done learning with programming languages, the next thing is to learn hacking. So the first and to get the keywords, what all things are there in hacking, the best resource is the OWASP. So OWASP is completely free website which gives the description of entire all types of security vulnerabilities which exist. And they also have something called OWASP Top 10. So what they do is they do an entire survey every year or every 2 years, and then they actually post these were the most common vulnerabilities found in major of the websites. So it's very simple that if you have command of concepts of top 10 vulnerabilities in OWASP, it's most likely that if you are testing another website, you will be able to find it, because these are the most common vulnerabilities which is found in the website. So if you click here, so it's they have a list of vulnerabilities. So injection. So these are the security issues which you need to learn, like SQL injection and authentications, data exposure, how to find data exposure, how to find broken access control. I'm not going to teach you right now because it's a very vast concept and it's going to take time. That can be an entire different workshop. But then these are the things which you need to learn. So after my session, if you are really interested in learning hacking, what I would suggest is go to this page, and if you are if you know basic programming, you should read what these things are. And when you read about them, then you'll have an understanding that how these vulnerabilities work and how to find them, and etc. etc. Next is, okay, I get many questions like that, I know it's not sufficient for someone who is new in hacking to to start hacking. By just reading what a cross-site scripting is, you cannot. It's very difficult to actually find a cross-site scripting bug in a website. So there are some books which it's like which I read as well, and that's why I'm recommending you. Is it's something you should really start with. It's like if it's like the first book and the best book I would prefer is the Web Application Hacker's Handbook. This is, I think, is like is the world's best book written ever on starting with starting with hacking. You can it's like if you know the basics of programming, you can start reading this book today, and I can assure you that you will learn stuff. This book is quite big. Mostly I've seen students like they give up in middle of that. But if you really want to succeed, I'll just suggest like finish the book, and if you don't understand it once, just read it 3 times. It's like almost like a 1,000-page book. But then once you read it everything, you will know it's like how to find bugs. Like you will have the concepts clear, that how to look for a bug and how to find a security issue, and how to hack web applications. Other books which I would recommend is mastering this modern web penetration testing. Web hacking 1001, it's really interesting. It actually compiles a list of bugs which were found in public websites, and then it's a write up that. But don't read this book until unless you are not done with the web application hacker's handbook. So don't jump into the third one. The Tangled World Web is a bit advanced one. You can study it after reading the first one. But if you really want to start, it's like the best way to learn is through this book, the web application hacker's handbook. It will help you get started with hacking. Okay, then mostly what happens is like students who actually read the entire book and they know the basics of programming, but they say that it's like I know how the bug works, like how to find the bug, but I'm not able to find it. So it's like it's same as like you have studied programming in your college, but then you are not able to write the code. Sorry. So what do you do? It's like take a simple scenario. It's like someone taught you that there is a formula of something, and then a physics formula, and then you need to actually solve a question regarding that to understand how to apply the formula in real life. So it's not that someone just tells you a formula and you start solving all the physics questions. It's the same with hacking. So if you study everything, it doesn't guarantee you that you are actually going to hack everything now. You need to practice how it works. So there are some I have listed out a few websites where you can actually practice hacking. So the first one and the most easiest one is DVWA. It's basically called as the Damn Vulnerable app. What happens is like if you just install this website, it's actually a demo website which has the OWASP top 10, which we read here, the OWASP top 10. All the 10 bugs, mostly all the 10 bugs are there in this application, in this DBWA. It's there in the application. So it's purposely made with security issues, so you can practice finding security holes in that, and that's how DBWA works. Apart from that, there are something called CTFs, capture the flag. So these are the 3 best websites where you can actually practice playing hacking without doing any illegal stuff. So my whole purpose of asking you guys to actually practice on this is because performing hacking on a live website which you are not authorized to can lead you into legal troubles. So suppose it's your college website, and if you are it's like if you are hacking it, it's like the college can take legal actions on you, and this is something like this is not as an ethical hacker would do. An ethical hacker should test things only which he is allowed to. So these are the websites where it's like they purposely make vulnerable websites, and they will give you hints how to hack the website. And once you once you successfully hack the website, you'll get a flag, and you can submit the flag, and they will validate that you actually hacked it. So this is the best places where you can actually learn, make your knowledge put to in practical scenarios. Again, apart from public bug bounty programs, there are companies which host bug bounty programs for other companies. So suppose your college website is there, and your dean thinks that, okay, they need to have they need to have bug bounty program for their website, so that they can patch all the security issues. So what they can do is simply go on any of these websites and then host their program, and hackers from all across the world will find bugs on your college website, and then they will report it. And then your dean can see like what all bugs were there, and they can pay the hackers. So it goes for the hackers as well. You can simply sign up on all these websites, and they will show you a list of programs. So HackerOne is one of the HackerOne is one of the bug bounty program. Like they host bug bounty programs for. Oops, no, you should not see this. So directory. This one. So you can see it's like on HackerOne, there are lots of companies which which host their bug bounty program. So suppose it's like you want to find bugs in Uber, and Uber has a program on HackerOne actually. So you see, it's like HackerOne is actually hosting bug bounty program for Uber, and Uber has all the the policies and the amounts they are going to pay. So it's like, so they mentioned that this guy NGA log is the top hacker. Like he has found most of the bugs in Uber program, and they have a status like minimum bounty is $500 and maximum can total bounties is $70,000, and this is how you go. So these websites like HackerOne. One second, where is my slide? So these are the platforms where you can find websites where you can hack in legally, and they will not take action against you. And in case if you find a valid bug, they will actually pay you for that. So these are some of the websites. When I'll share the slide with you, you can actually go and sign up on these websites, and then you can see what all programs are going to pay you for finding bugs in it. Okay, then let's talk about some misconceptions which is going it's there in common public, that how hacking works, and there are some myths, etc., etc. One of the myth is many students think that there is some kind of private tool or something like that which helps the hackers hack stuffs. So I'll tell you one thing, this is not some kind of magic. These are actually like hacking is just it's a technical stuffs. Everything what happens here is technical. So you find actually you basically exploit a logic to gain access. I'll explain you how hacking works in a very simple language. Suppose there is a house, and the house is locked, and the house is locked, and you are a thief or you are a robber, and you want to get in. Want to get in the house. So what you do is like it's like you cannot straight away get into the house. So what you realize is there is a bug in the lock, that the lock can be opened with any key, and or maybe the bug is that the windows are open, so you get in through the window. So this is how hacking actually works in real life as well. There is a website, it has lots of logics, and you review all the logics and find security holes which can give you access to the user's data or the customer's data, or allow you to bypass payments, or allow you to steal funds from other users. So this is how hacking actually works. There are no private tools or something like that. And it's like many of the students have a misconception that if you install Kali, Kali Linux, you will be a hacker. It's nothing like that. Kali Linux is it just has like list of tools which can be used in automating your your concepts, like the concepts which you will go manually again and again, which is time consuming. You can automate it through those tools, but then before you can automate something, you should know what to automate. So that's why I'll always say to every student that don't jump into using Kali or some XYZ tool which promises you to be a hacker. That way you are never going to learn actual hacking. You have to learn the concepts, and then you can actually start writing your own tools as well. Regarding tools, there are some automation tools which can help you increase your efficiency in hacking. But again, please understand that just installing burp suite is not going to make you a hacker. You have to learn basically you have to learn the concept first, and then when you learn the concept, you will realize that how burp suite can help you save time in doing the same stuff. So the first thing I would like for a web application tester, I'll say is, you should learn how burp suite works. And when you are actually reading this book, which I suggested, one second. Yeah, this web application handbook, which I suggested. Basically, this burp suite tool is written by the founders of, I guess they are the founders or something, but they are related. So they actually designed the tool burp suite as well, and then those hackers actually wrote this book. So when you are going through the web hackers application handbook, they will actually use the burp suite all the time. So you can actually learn how to use burp suite through that book as well. Otherwise, there are a lot of online tutorials where you can learn about burp suite. So burp suite comes in two packages. One is the paid one, and one is the community version. And mostly the free version, the community version, which is not paid, which is free for anyone, is okay to start with. Like in beginning, you don't even actually require the paid tools, the paid part of the tools. So start with the community version, and while you are learning, while you are practicing security vulnerabilities, you should actually master burp suite. Again, there is I already talked about this. It's many students ask me like which is the best OS for hacking. Is it Kali Linux or something like that? Personally, if you see most of the hackers, it's like already well-renowned hackers, they don't use Kali Linux at all, because it's very unstable, and it's not suitable as an for a day-to-day use as well as for hacking. So what actually Kali Linux has is like it has set up all open source tools. So whatever tools, hacking tools present inside Kali Linux is actually available for everyone. So you can even install those tools in your Mac system or any a Linux operating system. And again, I would suggest is like switch to if you can pay for Mac OS, because it's expensive. So if you can buy it, well and good. And if you don't, just delete your Windows operating system and start using Ubuntu or Debian or any Linux. Ubuntu would be the best, I would suggest. Like Ubuntu is really nice. Okay, so what happens is like it's like all the concepts. Now you have practiced on different see, you have played CTFs, you have practiced on Diamond Vulnerable app, but it's like to understand how a hacker thinks, the best way to learn is to read other write-ups. This is very similar to when you write a research paper. When you write a research paper, what do? You refer to same researches similar to that in 4 or 5 you read 4 or 5 research paper, and then you actually craft something of your own, and then it's like you write your own research paper. The same thing goes with finding security bugs as well. You have to be very creative. It's not always that something which others found, it's like it's there are lots of instances where someone found a bug in uber.com, and then there was another bug on maybe Ola. It's like something like that. So yes, reading others bug, you'll get an idea that what kind of bugs to look for and how the hackers approached it. So this is one of the website where actually it's all the public disclosures of the bug. So what public disclosure is, suppose I reported a bug to google.com, okay, and Google fixed it. So with their permission, you can actually do a public release of the bug once it is fixed, not before it is fixed, because it can be exploited. So if you see, I have my own blog as well, blog.shashank.co. So it's like I actually, like, way back in, I guess, 2015, I had a bug in Google in 2014, I guess. Let me see. Yeah. So basically, Waze is one of the acquisitions of Google, and I found a bug, and they paid me for that. So once the bug is fixed, I actually wrote an entire write-up that how I approached for a bug, and how did I find how I found that bug. So there are many hackers doing that, and the best and easiest way would be doing is, like, just go through all the Hall of Fames of Facebook and Google, and the hackers mention their blogs, and you can even, when you search about any bug, like if you are searching about cross-site scripting, you will see it's like, there are a lot of write-ups, like Portswigger has done write-up, Veracode has done a write-up. So you can actually read this write-up to get more and more information, like how an existing hacker approaches for a bug. So this website actually lists, they have a list of all the bugs. So it's like, these are all the bugs which were found, like SQL injection, remote code execution, and you can see there's like so many information, like so many articles. This guy or this guy, these are just usernames of the hackers. So how they found a bug, and it's like you can apply the same on other websites, or learn about hacking and everything. So you can read these write-ups. I suppose this guy Honoki is really good. He writes very good reports. So you can see he reported a bug to Kiwi, and it's like he was paid $1,000 for that, and this is the entire write-up of the bug. So don't get scared. One day, it's like when you get, it's like enough, when you study everything, you will understand this, how this see, this is something I was talking about. These are the HTTP headers, how they work. This is the request and response of the website, etc., etc. So when you learn all these concepts, you will be able to understand what is written in this report, and then you get to learn it's like how an existing hacker found a bug. So it's like, it has been 7 years I've been hacking, but I still every day I read public disclosures. Like whenever a hacker publishes his bug, like publishes a bug he found, and he writes a write-up on that, I read them, because that's the best way to learn in ethical hacking. Because it's like hacking is not maths, where you just read one book and then you get to know everything. Now you can solve all the questions. Hacking evolves every day. Every day, the security of a website is upgraded. There are new frameworks, new programming languages, and everything. So you have to keep yourself, updated with the latest technologies and everything. So this is very necessary. You should be a very good reader. Like, you should be a really good reader to be a good hacker. So this was all about hacking and everything. So it's like, it's like I would like to convince you all to pursue ethical hacking as a career. It's like this is one of the screenshot from the report of HackerOne. It's like HackerOne has paid like I think around 60 to 70 million dollars in bounty. 60 to 70 million dollars is a huge amount. $1 million is like 6 crores. Now you just multiply 70 million, so it's like 42. Just multiply it. You'll see it's like it's in like lots of crores. So what they did was, like they did an evaluation of how much hackers earn, and their report said like an ethical hacker can earn 16 times a software engineer's salary, and and that's actually true. And apart from that, if you think about talents in hacking, so I'll suggest, like, although it's a difficult career to pursue, but honestly, if you see, uh, Indians have been doing really good in hackers. Like, India has a good number of hackers. So basically what Facebook does is, like, every year they actually summarize their bug bounty program. So according to them, if you see, we awarded over a $2.2 million to researchers from over 60 countries. And the top three countries for bug bounties based on sum of payouts were India was first, and this is the same report from 2018, 17, 16, and so on. So Indians have always been, really good at bug bounties because they are technically good. And it's like most of us are engineers. That's a fact. Like, it's like everywhere there are engineers and people working in IT companies, so they are technically very sound, which makes them a lot capable to actually be good hackers. So India has been first in Facebook bug bounty programs, Google bug bounty programs. Even on HackerOne, it's like the total sum of bounty went to India is second. Just this year. Before that, mostly it was India. This year it went to US because US hackers are very active as well. So uh, so if you actually want to start your career in this, I'm pretty sure you will. And you see, if you see the average bounty amount was $1,500, it's a 1 month salary for a very good engineer. Like if you take an average salary, it's like twice the salary. So if you find one bug, it's like it's equal to 1 lakhs, 2 lakhs, and minimum, I'm saying. So that's like security is pays well, really well. So I'll summarize what I wanted to say. It's like the final question, the final topic was how to build a career in ethical hacking, and I'll just say three things: learn, hunt, and apply. Now I'm going to tell you how. So see, first the thing is, it's like the first thing which comes is learning. Learning is the most essential part. You need to learn the concepts. You need to practice it, and then be thorough about each and every concept. Once you have learned the concept, what I would suggest is like start uh, actually finding bugs in programs which pays. Please don't try to hack websites which you are not authorized to. And if you really want, like suppose you want to do security testing of your website, of your college website, take permission from the admins and the dean and everything, and tell them that if you find a bug, you will ethically report it to them. I think they will agree. And if they don't, just don't do it. That's not what a professional would do, because we don't have to be the bad guys. I know the movies and the stories on the internet makes the black hat guys very cool, but that's not how it works. The real heroes are ethical hackers, which they safeguard the companies from losing business and from bad hackers. So be the good guys here. Get into ethical hacking. Don't misuse your knowledge. And So the second thing is, like I will say, is like hunt. Start, it's like go to HackerOne, go to Google, go to Facebook, go to any website which I have mentioned in my slides, and read at their policies, and apply whatever concepts you have learned. Look for bugs, and once you start hitting valid bugs in a program, you can mention that in your CV, that okay, you found bug in XYZ. So even if you are like I always wanted to study cybersecurity as my subject, but unfortunately I had no idea how to do that. So I did basic engineering in information technology. I was not even a CSE guy. Like it's like if you are in engineering, it's like CSE and IT are pretty similar. So although I have no degrees in cybersecurity, but it's like I work for a security company right now. So how did I get that? I got that because I found bugs in Facebook, Apple, Google, and it's like I just went to the company and said that okay, I don't have a degree in that, but these are my works. These are actual works. I have been recognized by Facebook and I have been rewarded. And since Facebook actually writes your name on their website, it's a big thing. It's like Facebook, a billion-dollar company, is writing your name, thanking you, saying that you helped them find a security issue. It's a big thing, right? So basically, you should actually start hunting on public programs and get recognition, and then fill that in your CV that you found bugs on these companies, etc., etc. And then you can just like once you have you have a good resume, you can actually apply for security companies like HackerOne, And even like even in India now, security security consultant, security analyst is a position. So suppose it's like my friends are there in Flipkart. There is a security opening recently in Zomato. So it's like there are security teams which actually regularly test the websites for the company. So and it's a really good pay job. So once it's like once you start hunting, and then it's like if you're going to apply for an open position on in any company in India, you can just show them that, yeah, I found these bugs, and I'm pretty sure they will hire you. Apart from that, it's like if you don't have a degree in cybersecurity, etc., you can actually do some certifications. Mostly, it's like the most common one is CEH. What I will suggest is, like, please avoid it. It's really of no use. It's just overhyped and over expensive, and you won't learn anything. Go for OSCP, Crest. These are the two things which I would recommend. Crest is basically very useful because you need to be Crest certified to pen test any website which is from United Kingdom, Australia, or Singapore, something like that. So Crest gives an advantage. OSCP is the best. If you do OSCP, it's pretty difficult, but if you manage to crack it, you learn a lot, and that certification got a weight. So when you apply for any security company, if you show them your OSCP certification, they will consider it. CEH is pretty useless now. They have like because they enabled cheating and everything in CEH, and everyone was CEH without any skills. This actually got deteriorated. So if someone convinces you to do CEH, please try to avoid it. Don't waste your money. And that's all. Thank you so much. It's like when I started into hacking, actually, I was very alone because nobody was there to help me. I was a self-made hacker, and because of that, I realized that I should be helping new guys who want to get into hacking, and I still do that. Like I give suggestions, and it is no cost. Like whenever I get chance on social media, you can follow me, and if you have any doubts or something like that, you can ask me. I'll definitely guide you. If it's a valid question, I'll definitely guide you. And that is something I do, as a generosity. So you can reach me out anywhere, and just or just send me a message on Messenger or Twitter or Instagram, or just write me a mail. And for sure, whenever I get time, I'll respond you. So that's all from my side. I hope you all enjoyed it. Unfortunately, this was not a very interactive session. That's one of the downside of having online things. But we still have few minutes. If you have any question, I'm like, please don't be shy. Ask any question, and I'll be happy to give you answers. So I'll just say, it's like please ask questions if you have any doubts. I'll be glad to help you out. One question. Oh, okay. So anyone has any questions? Otherwise, we'll wrap up. Also, I'll email slides to your organizer, and he can be it's like he will share you all the slides, and then you can follow the links and everything, and you can reach me out as well. So it's all fine. So anyone has any questions? I guess no one has any question. Pratham, I don't know when was
it. Guys, do you have any question? Okay, I guess no one is going to ask.
No worries, no worries. If you have any questions, you can still reach me out on the social media. No worries. Thank you, everyone.
Anyways,
Thank you so much.
Shashank, it was really a nice session.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.